Hello everyone, I'm Nori Corpus. In Module 7, Hospitality at Work, we will be discussing legal aspect related to tourism and hospitality. Labor law includes all the rules of law governing condition under which person may work under the control of other person called employers. If may all pertain to the labor standard and labor relation law governing hours of weekly rest period, minimum wage rate, under labor practice, strike, and lockout. Example of labor law. Government hours. Oras na dapat magtrabaho ang isang empleyado. And rest period, ito ay oras na pamamahinga ng isang empleyado na dapat ibigay sa mga manggagawa. Minimum wage rate, ito ang minimum na dapat na sahod ng isang manggagawa alinsunod sa batas. Strike, huelga, pagpapatigil ng trabaho ng mga manggagawa bilang protesta laban sa kanilang mga employer. And lockout, ang pagsara ng isang negosyo na isang employer upang pigilan ang mga manggagawa na magtrabaho. Yun lamang po. Thank you.
Labor standards prescribe the terms and conditions of employment as affecting our monetary benefits, hours of work, cost of living allowances, occupational health, safety, and welfare of the workers. These are the examples of labor standards. Overtime pay. Worker must be compensated as a higher rate for hours worked beyond the standard work week, such as time and a half. Next one is child labor laws. These regulations set the minimum age for employment and limit the number of hours minors can work to ensure their health and condition are not compromised. Next one is the health and safety regulation. Standards like the Occupational Safety and Health Administration (OSHA) guidelines in the US required employers to provide a safety working environment free from hazard that could cause injury or illness. These standards aim to protect workers from exploitation and unsafe conditions while promoting fair treatment in the workplace.
Labor relations encompasses the intricate relationship between employers and employees, particularly within the context of organized labor. This file encompasses a wide range of topics including unionization, collective bargaining, labor law, and multifaceted area that has evolved significantly over time, reflecting changing societal norms, economic conditions, and legal frameworks. Labor relations are complex and involving fields that plays a critical role in shaping the relationship between employers and employees. Understanding the key concept, perspectives, and changing in this area is essential for carrying a fair and just workplace that benefits both workers and employers. As the world of work continues to evolve, labor relations will need to adapt to ensure that workers' rights and interests are protected. Example, labor unions, organizations formed by employees to protect their interests and negotiate with employers. Collective bargaining, ang proseso ng unions employments negotiate contracts that cover wage, benefits, working conditions, and other terms of employment. Labor law, ang katawan ng mabatas at regulasyon na namamahala sa relationship between employers and employees, including those related to determination, collective bargaining, and workplace safety. Unfair labor practices, action by employers or unions that violate labor law, such as interfering with unions organizing or discriminating against workdays for unions activity. Grievances, complaints filed by employees regarding alleged violation of the collective bargaining agreement or labor law.
Social legislation law. The latter is law governing the employer-employee relationship, where the employee is not pursued to hazard the rising of employment. It is actually designed to uplift and protect the welfare of worker and his family because of the hazard beyond his control which mobilize him for work. Social legislation law, ito yung batas na pinatupad para sa mga empleyado dahil ang bawat empleyado ay kailangan masigurado ang kaligtasan at maprotektahan sila sa kapahamakan habang nagtatrabaho. Pagsulong ng social justice and equality to protect vulnerable populations, to enhance the quality of life for individuals and communities.
Is no 2332 Republic Act of the Philippines, Congress of the Philippines. This is one of the examples of protective legislation. This is the final penalties for offenders who violate. The person who violates the provisions of the law will be penalized by imprisonment of not less than 1 month, no more than 6 months, of a fine of not less than 10,000 pesos or more than 20,000 pesos of such fine, and imprisonment at the discretion of the any act against the violation of the provision of this article prescribed 10 years.
Welfare or social legislation. It is intended to remove or reduce the insecurity of workers, while the latter are not work due to hazard arising from employment. Example, under Philippine law, employers are mandated to remit the correct contributions to the Social Security SSS, the Home Development Mutual Fund Pag-ibig, and the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, PhilHealth, on behalf of their employers.
Diplomatic legislation. It governs the safe use of machinery, hazardous substance, and risk in the working environment in an employer that doesn't abide by the legislation run risk of employee being injured, which can be costly to the employer for several reasons. The employee will be sick or sick bill, which means sick pay. Diplomatic legislation refers to the set of law, principles, and rules that governs the functioning of diplomatic mission, the conduct of diplomats, and the framework for international diplomatic relations between states. Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, 1961. This perhaps the most comprehensive and significant diplomatic legislation which outlines the rules and norms of diplomatic engagement. The convention ensures that diplomats can perform their duties without interference from the host state, protecting both state interests and the rights of the individual involved. Vienna Convention on Consular Relations, 1963. Similar on the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, this treaty specially governs the operation of consular posts and the right of consuls. For instance, it ensures that consuls can communicate with their nation and provides them the right to access their citizens who are detained. UN General Assembly Resolution on Diplomatic Protection. While not legally binding treaties, several resolutions adopted by the United Nations General Assembly address diplomatic protection and the rights of the state to protect their nation abroad. This resolution serves as guidelines for member states on how to handle situations involving the wrongful acts of foreign governments against their citizens.
Administrative legislation, those laws creating labor bodies or agencies for administrative purpose. Administrative legislation refers to a rules and regulation. These rules is created by government agencies to enforce the law or control activities within their jurisdiction. They are not created by legislature, but by agencies that specialize in a specific area. For example is Department of Health.
Labor relations legislation encompasses a wide range of laws regulating that govern relations between employers and employees, particularly in the context of collective bargaining and unionization. These laws aim to establish a framework for fair and equitable labor practices, ensuring both employers' rights and employer responsibilities are upheld. One prominent example of such legislation is the National Labor Relations Act, or the NLRA, known as Wagner Act, passed in the United States in 1935. The National Labor Relations Act served as the foundation for labor relations in the private sector both employers and employees. Labor relations legislation encompasses a wide range of laws and regulating that govern relations between employers and employees, particularly in the context of collective bargaining and unionization. These laws aim to establish a framework for fair and equitable labor practices, ensuring both employers' rights and employer responsibilities are upheld. One prominent example of such legislation is the National Labor Relations Act, or the NLRA, known as Wagner Act, passed in the United States in 1935. The National Labor Relations Act served as the foundation for labor relations in the private sector in the United States. Its primary objective is to protect the right of employees to organize into unions and engage in collective bargaining with their employees. This act established a framework for collective bargaining defining the rights and responsibilities of both employers and employees.
Regulation ay ang una, Labor Code of the Philippines, pangalawa, Department of Labor and Employment, pangatlo, National Labor Relations Commission, pang-apat, Philippine Labor Standards.